Hey, everybody.
Hi,
We're back.
everyone. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Kim. How's it going?
Good. It's so nice to be back. We were gone for,
Yeah,
it feels like
looks like,
forever.
yeah, it does. Yeah, it's been a while.
I
So,
know.
a lot of catching up to do here.
It is. I
So,
mean, it's crazy. It's hard to believe it's December already,
I know,
right? Like,
man.
I mean, if everyone, if you're out there and you follow us on OpenLab, you know that we didn't do a show a couple weeks ago because of Thanksgiving. So, it feels like forever. Hope everybody had a great holiday. How about you, Jeff? What did
Yeah,
you and Franco do for Thanksgiving?
definitely. Let's see. We went to visit family out in Jasper, Missouri. It was great. Everybody was there, and then had a great meal. And then we ended the night at the Double Deuce. Saw a live show there. So it's really the only
Nice,
place in town.
nice.
So
That sounds great.
yeah, yeah. It's hard to keep a straight face saying that.
I know it is, right?
But
And if you guys don't know why we can't keep a straight face, you should know by now.
yeah.
But, if you don't know, then, you'll figure it out eventually. Uh, so I understand we've got some new swag. Is that true?
Yeah, we've been talking about new swag over the last few weeks. Wanted to replace some of the stuff that we currently have. And yeah, so we're going to be sending that out.
Great, great. So, guys, as you know, if you want to be entered to win some of this cool new swag, all you have to do is put a comment in the comment section. What is something that you think would make a good swag item? So just answer that question in the comments, and your name will be automatically entered to win some awesome new swag from IL. And as always, we do those drawings at the end of the broadcast. So once again, if you want a chance to win some IL swag, just answer the question, what is something you think would make a good swag item? And of course, if you have any
I better
questions or
type
any
that in here.
comments, always pop them into the comments section as well.
I'm kind of curious to see what people say. I
Me
think
too.
we try to get a good variety, but you never know. There might be something we're not thinking of.
Yeah, or something that, people have seen, they've either received some kind of swag from another company before, or
Yeah.
something that maybe they've seen at one of the shows, like if they've gone to any of the expos or conferences or anything. If you've seen something or have something that you think would be a great idea for IL swag, we'd definitely love to hear some feedback on that.
Yeah, I had to check our Facebook page to see if it was broadcasting because the last time, we had that trouble, but it appears to be. We just don't have
Is it
any.
is it good? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Good.
it's
Because
working.
yeah, we
Just
definitely don't
don't
want
have
Facebook people to miss
anybody
out.
over there yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, with that, yeah. So no guests this week. So you're gonna have to just sit here and listen to Kim and I. But speaking of listening to Kim and I, it's time for Kim's Corner.
Yay!
I need music for this too. I think
That
I'll
would
come
be
up with some
cool.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you could use the, Tales from Support. That would be
Yeah.
funny. Makes it sound
See how
like I'm gonna
creepy
say
you can
something
get.
really
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Alright, so hi, everybody. It's another edition of Kim's Corner. So, because we're in the full swing of the holiday season and Q4 is rapidly drawing to a close, today I just wanted to talk about what you can expect in 2022 for e-commerce. So, as you all know, since 2020, the pandemic has completely changed the way we live, it's changed the way we work, the way we go to school, and definitely the way we shop. Now, based on what I've personally seen in my area, people are definitely shopping more in person in 2021 than they were in
Hmm.
2020, but that doesn't mean that e-commerce businesses aren't still thriving. They definitely are. I think once a lot of people had access to the vaccine and because we've been living with the reality of COVID for a while, we all started to relax a little and get back into, regular life activities like socializing and in-person shopping, etc. But even with more and more people getting vaccinated for the first time or getting a booster shot, the Omicron variant is still spreading rapidly. It's right in the middle of flu season. Hospitalizations are still on the rise. So we aren't out of the woods. And that means a lot of people are going to go right back to online shopping. And this is especially true at this time of year and right through spring because cold weather, even without a pandemic, also forces us to stay inside the majority of the
Yeah.
time. And if you live in an area like me, where there's a lot of bad winter weather, snow, ice, just, things that you don't want to drive in, that's even more reason to skip the malls and the stores and just order from places like Amazon. So, another thing to keep in mind as we head into the new year is that if you are already investing in digital ad spending, you probably should consider it. In the beginning of 2021 alone, digital ad spending increased by 49% in the US. And we
Wow.
know, of course, the more you advertise, the more exposure you have, and the better your chances are of selling your products. And with so many people still shopping online and likely seeing those numbers just continue to rise throughout Q1, it's a great way to stay competitive. And I would expect to see that trend of increased ad spending continue to rise throughout 2022. I'll be curious to see if it actually exceeds 2021. So that's something that I would be keeping an eye on.
Yeah, we'll have to have
Yeah,
another
absolutely.
open lab on the PPC
Definitely.
stuff.
Definitely.
But that'd be
Um,
one to check out if you're interested. Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, so now let's talk about what you need to know about Amazon going into 2022. And you guys know Amazon is constantly changing rules and reg. So the first thing you need to know is that by consistently staying on top of all of those as much as possible, you're putting yourself and your business in a much better position by not being surprised or caught off guard and having to make potentially big changes late in the game. On a previous episode, we actually talked about how Amazon was making it mandatory for sellers to carry liability insurance, and you had to show proof of that. You don't want to risk having your account suspended or just being penalized in any way because you weren't aware of some random Amazon regulation. You have to be proactive with the constant changes because Amazon isn't going to accept "I didn't know" as a valid excuse for a seller not following the rules. It's kind of like the law.
Yeah.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse to break it. Amazon's kind of the same way. Just because you didn't know doesn't mean you're going to get off the hook. So, and in addition to that, you also need to stay on top of their SEO algorithms. And when it comes to the Amazon SEO, which for anyone who might not know means search engine optimization, you probably already know that this is designed to help the buyer, not the seller. The purpose of the algorithm is just to bring up products that best meet a buyer's needs based on the terms they use in the search feature. So, in other words, Amazon's trying to determine which products are likeliest to sell. If you want to improve your chances of selling your items, there are several things that you can do, such as finding the best keywords, using high quality images for your listings, and making sure your titles and descriptions are optimized. But if possible, stay on top of the SEO algorithm, or the A10 as Amazon calls it, because you don't need to know a ton of technical stuff to do this. This is really easy. There are only two criteria that Amazon uses for this algorithm: the number of customer reviews and your sales rank. So just by making sure you're optimizing your listings as much as possible and also creating a positive experience for the customer, especially when it comes to customer service and communications, you can maximize your chances of selling your product, increasing your ranking, and getting more and hopefully positive customer feedback. And all of that can help you stay on top of their algorithm. And that's everything I've got for Kim's Corner.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to, I think it was Laura, we'll have to have her back on, talk about PPC maybe after the first of the year.
That would be great.
That was a
Yeah,
good show. And
it
yeah,
really
it's like you
was.
said, it's Amazon's, I like to say it's Amazon's sandbox. So if you want to
Yes.
play, got to follow the rules, even though they don't make sense sometimes. But
Exactly, and that's just it. Amazon is huge, and if you want to play, like you said, in their sandbox, gotta follow the rules. So
yeah. All right. Well, let's see. With that, my favorite Tales from Sport.
my favorite music.
So another thing with Amazon is if you're selling on Amazon, it might be a good idea to diversify a little bit, um, just because of what happened yesterday with Amazon web services going down, and so a lot of different online companies like ourselves had issues with some parts of the process just because that it was broken basically. So it's good to always reach out to support, but also you can do some things to kind of check on your own. So one of the places you can go to is the Amazon status page, and I'll put the links there at the bottom. Um, this is a place to see what the status is for Amazon at any particular time in the different sections. However, we've found that this is not a great um, resource because they don't update it very frequently or timely, I guess would be a better word. It's usually a couple hours after you might see something here that shows an issue. So a better place to go is actually Down Detector. And let me just see if I can get Amazon's to
Yeah, Down Detector
pop
is
up.
great. I
There
actually
we
use
go.
that anytime I want to see if a website is down.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, here they're still having issues, in certain sections, and then they give you a little heat map. You can check on the areas where it's a problem, and you can see throughout the U.S. here where we are, there's some issues still happening. And so, yeah, Down Detector is probably the better stop. I mean, you can still reach out to support just to confirm, but usually the error messages or something. If it's a pretty detailed response, it's something coming direct from Amazon, and so this is one of the first places we check. Um, and then, so most of the issues for us have cleared up. There are some people still having issues with box content being accepted on Amazon. So what you can do is the first thing is when you have, let me just see if I can find one that has the shipments. So let's just go here. So if you've already sent box contents, this will probably already be closed. So what you want to do is go to box content information and then transmit your updated boxes again. And then after you get the green success message from Amazon, you want to come right back here and use this refresh box option. And that'll usually clear up any issues that happen in Seller Central. And so you can refresh that, what's happening in Seller Central, and hopefully that'll clear it up. We had a customer yesterday, he had 3 shipments. He was able to get 2 of them accepted, and the third one just wouldn't get accepted. He tried the refresh, and then that seemed to clear up the issue. So that's why our developers built that. Does some work behind the scenes, so it's a pretty handy tool when this happens. But you never know. I mean, they're a big outfit. I mean, a lot of people use their services to keep track of their, to store their data. So it was widespread. It was a big one. And one
Yeah,
of
it
our
really was.
developers said that they, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say I popped on to Amazon just to check on an order and
Oh,
couldn't get
yeah.
anything to work, and I
Alexa
wasn't
was
even aware
down.
yet because I hadn't talked to the team, so, I didn't realize what was happening at first. I thought it was my
Yeah, even
phone just
Alexa was down too. So
yeah.
that's interesting. Um, okay, and then in support as well. We've gotten this several times. We'll get issues with expiration dates, and so if you get an issue with an expiration date, you can go to your shipment, click on the 3 lines here, box content information, and you see where it's listed here. But if they say they didn't get an expiration date for an item, let me see if I have it on this one. Maybe it's here. Yeah, you'll see an NA for that product. It'll have the MSKU in the error message. Just go right here to the NA and you can click on that and then fill in your expiration date and then click transmit updated boxes. And if you need to see the error in its entirety, just go to list, Amazon listing errors, and just click on the little I here and it'll expand. And this is your MSKU. It'll always be the first part of the message. So you can see we get a lot of errors like this brand because it's our test account. So um, we never send anything in here. So which is why we're not approved for anything. But oh, hey, Aaron. Yeah, that's a good idea. I
It is
like
a good idea,
that
and thank you
calendar planner.
for chiming in, with
Yeah,
a suggestion. I know, there may not be, it looks like we don't have as many viewers today as we normally do. December is a busy time, but for anyone who is watching, don't be shy. Jump into the comments and just tell us what you think would be a good swag item. Your name will be automatically entered into our drawing at the end of the broadcast to win some awesome IO swag.
yeah. And like I said before, we're redoing the swag, so we've got some
Mhm.
other stuff coming. So there may be a bit of a delay if you get a swag box. So be patient. We'll get it out to you. Um, and another interesting page that we found today. was probably have to sign in here. Let me just switch that off so I can not give out my secret squirrel information. But it's the Amazon business reports. And let me put the link in. And here we go. So if you're curious about what the different reports are and where to find them, you can go to this link, inventorylab.link/FBA reports. And it gives you all the different inventory reports, sales reports, payment reports, what they do, and then you can find those in the reports page when you go. It might be, no, here it is, orders. So or reports. It'll tell you what each of those reports does. So it's pretty handy. It's a good resource because sometimes even we're not sure on some of the reports. Amazon is such a behemoth that they are adding stuff all the time, and you never know what they're going to change. So, but that's all I got for Tales from Support today.
All
So
right.
now we're going to drop into Amazon News.
Amazon News. All
That's
right.
several items.
We
So
do. We do. And first up, which I found really interesting, not surprising in the least, is that Amazon is making its own containers and bypassing supply chain chaos with chartered ships and long-haul planes. So
isn't that
we were just
crazy?
talking beforehand saying if you guys have ever, if anyone lives near an Amazon warehouse, you've seen actual Amazon trucks driving around. If you live near one and you're getting a delivery, chances are that's exactly who's going to deliver your products. So basically, I think Amazon was just like, you know what? We're not going to deal with the supply chain issues. We're going to create our own supply chain. So they haven't really made a big deal out of it. But behind the
Yeah.
scenes, they're chartering private cargo ships, making their own containers, leasing planes. So they're basically spending a ton of money up front to basically on the tail end to avoid the long wait times for available dock space and workers. Because you guys
Yeah.
know off the coast of California, it's absolutely chaotic. In Los Angeles, the news article references the fact that there are 79 vessels sitting out there for up to 45 days just waiting to come into the harbor. And
That's crazy.
this was a freight analyst told CNBC in November that Amazon's latest venture that I've been tracking in the last 2 days, it waited 2 days in the harbor. So can you imagine that? 79 days versus 2 days.
Wow.
And yeah, it's crazy. And Ferrer went on to say, quote, "Who else would think of putting something going into an obscure port in Washington and then trucking it down to LA? Most people are thinking, well, just bring the ship into LA. But then you're experiencing those 2-week and 3-week delays. So Amazon's really taken advantage of some of the niche strategies I believe that the market needs to employ," end quote. Um, so it's really interesting that they are kind of just taking this issue in hand because it's a huge issue. Um, it's estimated that Amazon has produced somewhere between 5 and 10,000 of the freight containers.
Wow.
And that's even, yeah, I mean, they're even, it says they're even starting to go right to China and making the 53-foot cargo containers. So they're, for some of the items that are coming straight from China, they're going straight to the supplier. So, they really are kind of working from beginning to end um, to get things going. So I thought that was really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, not surprising, of course.
You know
Um,
what? Another unforeseen thing about all this is with those shipping containers is I looked into shipping container homes, and yeah, you could get a shipping container for $1,500,
mhm.
$2,000, and you can stack them and connect them and stuff, and it makes a pretty slick home if you got the land. But yeah, now reading this, $20,000 just because they don't have the supply they used to have,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
that's crazy. And then this one, I noticed this is even crazier. The 14% rise in out of stock items. That's got to be driving Amazon nuts right now.
Of course it
You know how
is.
they
I
like to
mean,
have stuff
yeah.
in
I mean,
stock.
if Amazon can't fulfill your orders, then,
Yeah.
then Amazon can't fulfill your orders, and that's not going to stand. So, It's not really surprising that they're taking this in hand.
That's
And on a
forward
side note,
thinking. So,
Jeff, I'm kind of obsessed with tiny homes, and if I have a tiny home, like, I would want a shipping container home, but,
oh
we'll save
yeah,
that for a
they'd be slick.
different
I love
episode.
what you can do with
I
those things.
love the shipping container homes, and you could put, like,
Yeah.
2 or 3 of them together and have actually quite a lot of space, but still
Oh
save
yeah.
money. It's crazy.
Yeah. If you just got the land and could stack
Mhm.
those things, there's companies that build them. I know there's one big one in Texas. There's even shows on TV about it. But
Oh, I've seen the shows on TV and on YouTube, and, oh, I'm just
yeah.
I can't actually imagine, like, of course, I have a couple kids, so I can't imagine living in a tiny home with kids, so that the idea of that just stresses me out, but I think someday, someday
If
when
you
it's
had a
just
nice
me and
piece
my
of property
husband,
that
we
had
can live
great views,
in a
you could
tiny
stack up
home.
some shipping containers, make a little resort out of it. Each one would
Oh,
be
that'd
its
be
own
great.
unit. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that would
yeah,
be
well,
great.
that's interesting. Well, good for Amazon.
Yeah,
That's how they stay where they are.
yeah, absolutely.
And then we had another one, Black Friday. Customers drove record-breaking Black Friday through Cyber Monday sales on Amazon. Um, these are it's amazing how much this goes up every year, and now they
Yeah.
did broke another record. So I was trying to find the amount that maybe I skipped over it. Um, thought they had it here. I know I took advantage of a few of the sales, but doesn't give I thought it gave the totals, but I guess not. Anyway, did you do any shopping online? Seems like
Oh my
that's all
god,
I ever
yes.
do.
So
Yeah.
much. Like, I literally, as we speak, to my right, it's a pile of things, most of which came from Amazon that I just haven't wrapped yet. So, no, listen, I mean, it doesn't even have to be Christmas. I'm all
Oh
about
yeah.
Amazon. So, um,
Yep.
yeah, I definitely, and I will do more before the end of December. I will do more, because I don't. I mean, we have the numbers in our area are rising again. I mean, and even if you're fully vaccinated, which I am, um, even if I wear a mask, I'm thinking, do I really want to go out in the cold? It's 30 degrees here. Do I really want to go out?
Yeah.
Do I want to deal with traffic? Do I want to deal with people? Most of the time, that's a resounding no. So I will continue to order online unless there's
Can only
something extra.
people for so much
I
time, right?
know. I know, right? So, AET Industries chimed in too with a suggestion for swag, a hand scanner to scan UPCs. Now, so that's an interesting suggestion. Now,
Oh
most of the
yeah.
hand scanners I've seen, though, I don't know if there are any out there that would be cost effective as swag. What do you think, Jeff? Or AET Industries chime in if you've
Yeah,
know of any.
we've got some premium swag that we always include in our boxes.
Oh, okay, so that
The
could definitely be an option.
for instance, the old oops, where is it? Find my camera. The little desk vacuum here, the
Yes,
Crumby. It's called a Crumby, and it works pretty slick. So yeah, maybe that's something like that we
definitely.
can look into. That's a good idea too.
Yep. Yeah, and thank
I
you for
mean,
your
definitely get
suggestions.
some use.
Again, if you're just joining us, the question is, what do you think would make a good swag item for IL? And if you put your comment, or rather, if you put your suggestion into the comments, your name will get automatically entered into the drawing for some awesome IL swag. And as Jeff mentioned, we do have some new swag. So if you do end up winning, and and it takes a little bit longer than usual, it's just because we're getting some new awesome swag in.
Yeah.
So just be patient.
Oh, here it is. It's Amazon delivered over 10 million items to alternative delivery locations in
Wow.
countries around the world so far, such as Amazon lockers. We used to use Amazon lockers quite a bit when we were full-time RVing. It's pretty handy.
No kidding.
The hardest part about them was actually finding them, though. It was like a little quest. You'd say, "Oh, it's in this store," but they don't really tell you where. So then you'd
Right.
have to go on like Yelp and look up Amazon. There's actually a section for Amazon lockers, and people will comment on where exactly to find them.
Where to
Like I
find it?
found
Yeah.
one, yeah. I went to a business here in Tulsa, one of the buildings downtown, and I just happened to be in the basement going to this one business, and there was an Amazon locker stuck around the corner, and I just happened to catch a glimpse of it. And I thought, well, that would be hard to find if they told you it's in this building,
Right.
because you'd think it'd be in the lobby, but no, it's deep in the
Which is
underground
strange.
area. So yeah,
I've never actually
uh,
used an Amazon locker. So
it's pretty
that's
slick. I like it.
that's very interesting. Angela, thank you. She gave us a couple of different suggestions. Sold as set
Oh
labels.
yeah.
Yep. And then possibly a heat gun, she says.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, for removing labels and things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess sealing products too. I suppose if you have the plastic that you seal your products with,
Yeah, that's another good one.
maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely some good ideas there.
All right. So what have we got next up on the
Let's
news?
see. I thought this was an interesting one. Amazon is using 3P sellers to fund its monopoly empire. So
Whoa.
this nonprofit did some investigation. They call themselves the Institute for Local Self-Reliance. I've never heard of it,
Nor have
but
I.
all the sellers know that the fees have grown sharply, and so they rely on profits from seller fees to fund its monopolization and expansion strategies. Say that 3 times
Yeah,
fast.
right.
So, we're always thinking that, oh yeah, they make so much money because they make it on their web services that we talked about earlier in the episode. But um, they say that Amazon is earning so much from the third-party sellers that it's odd that AWS or Amazon Web Services is still considered the cash cow. And it's because they
Hmm.
found the earnings reports are presented in a way that hide the actual profit, and it groups it into different divisions. So some creative bookkeeping, it looks like, is going on. So it looks like they're not earning so much off the sellers, so they can justify their price increases. At least this is what the gist of this article is. So, but again, like, we
Interesting.
were talking about earlier too. What can you do about it? Well, if you want to sell on Amazon, I don't know. There's much you can do. I mean, even,
Really?
Whole Foods, they used to have free delivery for Prime members if you purchase like $35 or more. And then they recently just upped that. I think they charge like $10. And a
Wow.
lot of the
That's a
people
big
that
jump
were,
from free.
yeah, it is. Yeah. And
That's a really
so
big jump.
there was a pretty big outcry, but they still went ahead and did it because I guess they figure, well, what are you going to do? Just don't use
Well,
this and
they
they can,
may have done the numbers and thought, well, people are going to be upset and a certain number of people are going to stop using it, but
yeah.
most people will just accept it and pay the
Yep.
$10.
Yeah, that's why you said earlier too, is, maybe diversify into some other sales channels. That was because of
Yeah,
the Amazon outage, but you know, you might want to have another outlet for some of your sales if you merchant fulfill especially. So,
exactly. And what
um,
I'm curious to see what was Amazon's answer?
they said the report was inaccurate. So, uh, it
Well, what else
conflates
would they
Amazon's
say?
selling fees with our optional add-on services. So, yeah, probably never get a straight answer from them, but
Probably not. No.
there you
No.
go.
And G Mendiola has a suggestion, planner cover. So that kind of ties in nicely with the previous
Oh yeah,
suggestion from Aaron of a calendar or a planner.
yeah.
Um, that would be nice. Just a little pocket calendar or planner.
Yeah, then you can
Um,
refill it, when you use up
yeah,
all the pages, that kind of thing. Yeah, or it
yeah,
covers
that would be
your
great.
other planner. Like I
Okay.
have one somewhere. Oh, it's up here. Like it's actually a notebook, you know, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
a leather cover that fits over the standard size. It's got a little pen loop. I love these 4-color pens, these big 4-color pens.
I do
Man,
too. Oh, I haven't
love
seen one of
those
those in a
things.
long time. That's
But yeah, it
great.
just fits over the book, and then so you could fit a planner if it was the right size in there.
Cool. Yeah,
But
these are all good suggestions, you
yeah,
guys.
great ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's
All
next
right.
on the news?
Next on the list is Amazon. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Where are we?
Oh,
Sellers funding. No, that was. the one we just did.
There we go.
Amazon seller valuations have doubled.
Yeah, let me put that one in here.
Okay, so this article is talking about how the seller valuations have doubled since the start of 2020 and how there were only a few buyers then. And the concept of selling an Amazon seller business seemed far-fetched. It says sellers were heavily undervalued and the market is now catching up. So according to Marketplace Pulse research, I guess the private label sellers are getting acquired for SDE adjusted EBITDA multiples. I don't even know what any of that
Yeah, I don't
really means, Jeff.
no
Can
idea
you
what all that means,
can you just
but
discern?
I think
Okay,
because before there's actually several different venture capitalist firms now that are funding some of these acquisitions, and so what they'll do is go buy an existing Amazon business because they're already approved for all these different brands and things, and so they don't have to go through all the brand approval process, and they just uh, buy the Amazon or the
the business
seller's
itself.
company.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so they're saying like a business with $1 million in revenue and $250,000 in SDE profit would typically receive offers of more than $1 million guaranteed payment plus earnout payments. Um, and they're talking about how the deal structures are more complex and not all businesses are valued equally. So I guess there's a lot of additional considerations too for how much is paid up front versus how
yeah,
big the payout is. So, like you said, these companies are coming in and buying these businesses out. I wonder if they're actually getting, if it makes more sense for people to do it that way, because are they actually going to get more?
yeah. I mean, that gives you another option if you build your business up. At least you can get some pretty good cash for it if you get tired of playing the Amazon game. That's always an option. Um, it's a growing industry, though. I've read several articles about different companies that are out there, and that's all they do. They just buy these, and if it has the profits to sustain it, then you know they're in the Amazon business and they got that cash rolling in. So
Yep.
it just would make me nervous. Of course, I'm not venture capitalist or anything like that, obviously, but the way Amazon can change rules so
Right.
quickly. Um, but interesting story though.
It definitely is.
All right, what's next on there? Let's see. Oh yeah, the A to Z claims. So what's going to happen now is when you get an A to Z claim, you currently have to respond to the messages a customer has about the delivery issue. So it's like their item wasn't delivered to them, and so they open up a ticket or a case with Amazon. And so then it involves, verifying the tracking and those sorts of things. And if you don't respond within 48 hours, then the customer is going to take the next step, which is an A to Z guarantee claim. And so Amazon kind of takes charge, and it could affect your account health. So what this does is it reduces the time and effort it takes to verify a valid claim. So as long as the tracking information is entered in Seller Central, uh, that demonstrates that the customer claim is valid. So Amazon will automatically issue a refund, but also use tracking to validate the claim to reduce the risk of unjustified claims. So if tracking shows that it's refused and returned, that's going to be indicated in the tracking. So Amazon will refund the customer and then debit your account. Doesn't impact your health. If tracking shows you have not shipped the package by the ship by date, um, then they'll automatically refund the customer and debit your account for the claim amount. This will impact your account health. And if tracking shows the item was undeliverable, then they'll refund the customer and debit your account. And it also does not affect your account health. So if they can't verify the claim through the tracking information, they will require the customer to actually reach back out to you to resolve the issue before they file another claim. So I've never really dealt with any of this stuff in the short time that I sold, but it changes. It says here the way the Amazon works. I'd be curious to know how people respond now, if this is a good thing, a bad thing, this automatic verification. Um, It's like 2 out of these three, your account health won't even be affected, which would be good. But
Right. But if you
I'm
don't
just
ship on
curious.
time, then
Yeah,
it will be. And it says that if customers have any issues with returns, they would still reach out to the seller directly.
yeah. So yeah, if anybody has any experience in that and can offer some insight, we'd love to find out what you think about this new process. So, all right. Well, let's moving on. We have our next segment, which is Books Keep Buzz.
Bookskeep.
I love
So,
Books Keep.
yeah, we are friends over at Bookskeep. You guys are probably familiar with Cindy Thomason, and she's been on the show a couple times, and they do guest blogs for us. So she has a couple articles here. So one is how e-commerce sellers can prepare for year end without the stress. So, I mean, we don't need to tell you guys. You have family, you're running a business, it's December, it's Q4. It's like it's nightmare. It's, it's supposedly the most wonderful time of the year, but we really know that it's the most stressful time of the year.
Yeah,
Okay. So basically what they're saying here is, listen, if you could prepare for year-end tax time in a more organized way and reduce the stress, like, wouldn't that be awesome? So, basically, they're saying, and this is true, one of the biggest causes of stress for business owners is waiting to the last minute to begin preparing for tax season and year end. And if you just start a little sooner and get things a little more organized, it can really, really help reduce that stress. So a couple of things that she is suggesting is meet with your tax preparer now. Don't wait until February or March or right before you have to file taxes. You're going to have a lot more flexibility. And also, if there's anything out of the ordinary, your tax preparer is going to be able to find it. Always better to find it sooner rather than later.
yeah,
Make a list of bank statements and credit cards. Download a copy of your statements for each month in 2021, or if you have a paper copy, that's fine. And review your QBO or zero, because make sure you've got your coding up to date for bank feeds. And I know this from personal experiences, coding in QuickBooks is key. So if you're behind, just do one account a day. You don't have to you have to go in and do a marathon of coding, but break it down little by little, but start soon. Don't even wait until after the first of the year to get started. Again, you don't have to finish before December, but definitely start sooner rather than later. And she's saying, look, if you get those things done, you're going to be in a good position. And then, kind of related, is the guest blog that she did for us, which you can find on our Inventory Lab blog page. It's called E-commerce Year-End Checklist. Take it in bite-sized pieces. So she's saying, create a checklist. She's got some of the same tips on here that was in the blog on Bookskeep. And she's saying a couple other things, reconcile your bank accounts for January through November. Do 1 month at a time. You don't have to do it all. Again, the problem with taxes and year-end preparation is that if you try to tackle it all at once, it's going to feel very overwhelming. Okay. So just break it down little by little. Look at your owner pay. Are you a sole proprietor or an LLC? Do you have your owner draws recorded on your balance sheet? And if you're an S corp, do you have payroll recorded for your salary on your P&L statement, which is your profit and loss statement? Look at your expenses. She even provides a link for an IRS flyer, so you can understand how to file 1099. So for anyone out there who has, contractors working for them, or, people that are providing services, if you have someone who's providing services for you and it costs 600 or more, you have to file a 1099 unless they are an LLC. Or I'm sorry, a corporation. If they're a corporation, you don't. But if they're an LLC or a sole proprietor business, you do have to file a 1099. But if you go on that link, it's irs.gov /pub /IRS PDF, and it's got the I-1099 list down there. You can find all of that information. You want to review your vendor payments, look at your loans and how they're reflected on the books. Do you have any loans? And if so, do they have the interest recorded as an interest expense? Look at your mileage, your home office deductions. Make sure you have all the correct information documented for your inventory. That's going to be a big thing for Amazon sellers. What things are in transit? What things did you prepay for? Take a physical count of things that are in your warehouse or in your garage if you're fulfilling orders yourself. Make sure you're completing any unfinished coding and reconciliations, run your profit and loss and balance sheets, get those 1099s filed before January 31st, 2022. So that's a big thing about 1099s that I think people forget is, yes, the tax deadline is typically April 15th, but if you're filing 1099s, you have to get those 1099s sent out to the service providers before January 31st. The deadline is January 31st. But if you
Yeah.
want to make sure that you're not scrambling at the last minute, get them out before the end of January. So a lot of
Yeah,
really
those
great.
are great tips.
Yep.
And you can keep track of, under accounting, mileage. We'll use the IRS rate when we calculate the total, which will then show up on your profit and loss in the other section. So it'll automatically, every trip you make, if you record your mileage, your round trip mileage in Inventory Lab, it'll be tallied for you automatically. Same with your expenses and other income. You can put those all in. So at year end, all you have to do is export that profit and loss. Everything's there. But if you want to
It's
read that
great.
blog, yeah, you can
Yeah,
just,
if you guys are using Inventory Lab, I mean, I think I'm always learning different things about the software, and the fact that you can record your mileage and other things of that nature is wonderful. I mean, you really do have kind of an all-in-one tool at your disposal.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great for that.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
they've thought of everything.
yeah.
But that's where that experience, our CEO Ryan was an Amazon seller.
hmm
That's what started Inventory Lab. He was trying to find something that would do all of these things. So the fact that our product was created and continues to evolve by people who have been there, I think
Yeah.
is what helps us create such an awesome product. Honestly,
Yeah, for
they
sure.
see it, from a point of view that you wouldn't understand as much if you'd never sold on Amazon.
All right. Time for some quick tips. So, I just have a couple. This came up a couple times this week too in support, but especially in quarter four, you probably get some shipping destinations that maybe aren't exactly great. So, maybe it's because you only have a couple of items going to one fulfillment center, but you have all the rest of them going to another. Amazon requires you to create all of the shipments on the shipping plan. And the shipping plan is basically, I probably don't have one set up, but this is the proposed FBA shipments page here. And this is what it's going to look like. This is box contents actually, but the proposed FBA shipments look very similar. But so when you're going to create shipments, you have to create them all. But if you have a current shipment that's been working, maybe you've put one in there like this one only has two. And if you had another shipment up here in your shipping plan that was going to that same location, you could use the um, add to working shipments. And you can find out how to do that. Just go to the help center and then add to existing. And you'll see that the add to working shipment option will be open if you have that option available to you. If not, it'll be grayed out like this. But if it's there, then you can combine these, low quantity shipments into the one that's currently working, and then that makes it more cost effective for you to send those items in. So Amazon got more restrictive over the last year on creating shipments. Used to be able to delete shipments you didn't like, but now you have to create them all. And then we have this option though to make it easier to add to those. Um, another um, Another thing that came up was a sync shipments button. And what this does is it makes the working shipments window match what is in Seller Central. And so if you've got some shipments that have already shipped out and their status has changed in Seller Central, and we haven't actually synced up with them yet, you can click Sync Shipments, and that will clear those out of this window, make it less cluttered. Also, sometimes it happens more often in quarter four than other times of the year, where Amazon will just, um, you know, change the status of your shipment and you haven't done anything about it. If you can get them to restore it back to working, you can click sync shipments and it'll show up here in most cases. Sometimes it won't. But in most cases, you can get it back here so you can still do box contents for the shipment. Another thing for live, you want to make sure you mark your shipment as shipped. In Seller Central, there's the little button after you've completed the shipment. If you mark it as shipped, come back to Inventory Lab and click Sync Shipments. That will clear out that shipment from that window so that it's, makes your screen less cluttered. So that's all that button does. It just helps to clear up this or make this status match what is in Amazon. What it won't do, though, is if you create shipments in Seller Central, it won't pull those shipments in. These are only shipments that you've created through Inventory Lab. And so it's going to not show shipments that you've done strictly in Seller Central. So keep that in mind. Yeah, not much for quick tips this week, but those popped up a couple times over the last few weeks, so I thought I'd bring it up again. I know we've talked about them before, but
all right.
so
Kat has a
now,
question.
oh yeah, here we go. Okay.
Yeah, is this being
Q&A.
recorded? Can I watch this from the beginning? Yes. Yes, you can.
Yep.
Every single one of our episodes is recorded.
If you go to YouTube, it should be listed there on the main page. There may be separated into live videos and regular videos, but this would be in the live video section.
Yep,
All the
just look for
recordings
the date.
Yeah.
Yep.
Search OpenLab and Facebook, in our Facebook group, same thing, our Facebook page, I mean. You can find those there. That's a good question.
Yeah, absolutely. And last chance, if you guys want your name entered into our drawing for IL Swag, just put in the comments your idea of what would make a great swag item, and your name will be entered into the drawing, which we're going to do in just a few minutes. And if you have any questions that you want to ask us about Inventory Lab, then you can just pop those into the comments.
Yeah.
How about Angela says, how about a free year subscription to IL? We are not authorized to do that, Angela.
Yeah, that'd be a heck of a swag gift,
that would
wouldn't
be,
it?
Yeah, that would be something.
It'd be like Charlie's golden ticket.
It really
Willy
would
Wonka.
be.
Yeah.
Except no chocolate,
Yeah, no chocolate. That's
that
an idea, though, huh?
It is an idea.
Let's see, we'll put that one on Kim. Maybe she can get it handled. We'll see.
Kimberly says swag. Yeah. If you're just joining us for the first time, Kimberly, we give a swag away every time we have Open Lab. And it changes. So we've just gotten some new stuff. I'm not even sure what we have. But we've had all sorts of good stuff. And if you just answer the question, what you think would make a good swag item, your name is going to be entered this time and you have a chance to win. So you put anything in there, anything that you think would make a good swag item.
Yep. Take that out.
Thanks, Angela. We got some love too.
Oh.
Angela says, you guys are all great. Love your customer service. Awesome. We really do have great customer service. I mean, I know all of our customer champions personally, and I can attest to that. We really do have, all kidding aside, we have a wonderful support team. And we really do have a lot of resources that people can go to. You can go on support.inventorylab.com. We have an IL community where you can ask other users questions and help each other out. And you right inside Inventory Lab, you can access our webinars and all different resources. You can put a ticket in if you're having an issue. There we go. There's our support page. Video tutorials and troubleshooting and the user guide. And again, we do these open labs every other Thursday. So you can join us anytime, and hopefully we're giving you guys some good information.
Yeah. So let's
small calculator, Kimberly says.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you guys are coming up with some really good ideas.
Yeah. Well, here's some of our swag that we have now, and it'll still be in the boxes. We're just kind of rotating stuff through, but this is some of the stuff that
Just to give
could
you
be
an
in there.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
What it's like to get an Inventor Lab swag box.
So yeah,
So there
that's
you have it.
yep, some of
And
the
again, we've got
stuff
new
that can
stuff
be in
coming.
there.
So, and we
Yeah.
always, we love your suggestions. We did get some great ones this year or this year. Let me try that
Yeah, we
again.
did.
We got some great ones today that we will definitely keep in mind because I think we always want to make sure that, we're keeping things fun and keeping things, updated. So, we're not just going to continue time after time to give out the same stuff, but so yeah, we're always looking for good ideas.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If anybody has any questions about anything inventory lab related, pop those into the comments. We'll certainly do our best to answer them. Could be
Yep,
about
we've got
anything.
we've got a few minutes left if you guys have
Yeah.
anything at all that you want to ask. Don't be shy.
This is
Ooh,
where I
and you
feel
know
like
what? A couple
saying,
weeks from now, you guys, we're going to be doing our Christmas edition of the show. I can't wait. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
we're going to do some work stuff, We'll definitely do some work stuff, but it's going to be a fun edition. So if you guys, want to join us, you've got nothing else to do, then we'll
that's
be here.
right. Yeah, that'll be. Always got to look at the calendar. So yeah, 23rd. I was going to say the
23rd.
23rd. I should have just went with my gut there.
Yep.
So the Christmas edition Open Lab.
Yes.
You
Should be
know,
fun.
yeah, should be a lot of fun. So
Absolutely. Oh, Kimberly wants to know, is it best to add FBM to IL or Amazon directly?
yeah, so you can add your FBM or fulfilled by merchant um, inventory. You can list them right through Inventory Lab. That's the benefit to that is you're adding in your buy cost information, your buy cost supplier, purchase date, all those sorts of things. Sending the feeds only to Amazon, and then your items will go active, usually within a few minutes. And the advantage of that is then we create the replenishment cost row on your items. And so what I mean by that is um, when you're on your inventory page, we don't have anything in merchant, but it would be the same thing. So it would look the same. You would see, say it was this item you're fulfilling by merchant. Each time you create a batch, send those feeds to Amazon to add items to your merchant listing. We would add a row here to keep track of that cost so that we're always using the correct cost using first in, first out. If you go ahead and update that in Seller Central, then what you have to do once it's active on Seller Central, you would have to come in to those items, click on Add Replenishment Row, and then input the item information here. And then when you added it, it would add it to this item so that you can keep track of the correct cost. So it's easier if you just add them to a batch and send the feeds, because then we'll do this part for you and we'll do it for everything in the batch. If you do it on your own, you have to go to each item from Seller Central that you're updating and come back in and do each of these manually. Now, there is a way to do it. Um, you can go use the bulk edit. So each item, you could select them like this. Just click on the item in the little box here, and then you'll see this option bulk edit pop up. So then if you click that, it opens up a spreadsheet. And so if you selected every item that you updated in Seller Central, every merchant fulfilled item, you would do this obviously on the merchant page, but they would all show up here on one page. And then you can just tab through every time you make an entry, you can just tab through just like a spreadsheet. And you can update those costs. And when you're done updating, then you just finalize it. Or if you want to come back to it later, you can just click here, leave open draft. And when I do that, then when I come back to my merchant inventory page, I'll have enter, it would say, merchant open draft. Click there, and then I can go right back to it. Or if I don't want to make any changes at all, I can just cancel the draft. And then it would not make any changes at all, but it won't make any changes until you finalize. So that would be the easiest way to do that. Let's see. Accidentally added a used like new book to my shipment. Did not notice a condition. Did not. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and Kimberly mentioned she'd been doing it manually. I bet that was a pain.
Yeah. I would just use the batch process, and it works the same. You just come to list and prep, go here, add in new batch, and then you just want to make sure the channel type is MFN. That's merchant fulfilled network, and you can still do some of the other settings here. But once you do that, you just create your batch, and then once you submit the feeds, the batch closes, and then Amazon will have that info, and it'll update within a few minutes usually. But yeah, great question.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got some more love, Jeff, from this
we
guy
did?
named Chris Vandenberg. Who's that?
Oh, hey, Chris. Yeah, thanks.
It's my husband, you
Awesome.
guys. Thanks. Thanks, honey. I know, right? Oh, well, all right. Back to business. G. Mendiola wants to know, so IL will not pick up the FM replen entered on SC.
Yeah, we will show the inventory. We'll show the quantity on hand here, so we will update there. But what you'll get is you'll get an inventory alert. And so when you go to the alert, it's going to say there's a quantity difference. Amazon shows X number, but we see, Y number in the inventory lab. And that's because we'll show that your inventory has gone up, but we won't see it on a replenishment row that the batch creates. And so when you add that replenishment row to allocate your buy cost to those extra units, then it will clear that alert. But other than that, we do update on your inventory page when you have added. It's just that we'll use your last buy cost entered. So if your buy cost is always changing every time you add inventory to Seller Central, you'd want to keep that updated here, because then your sales will use the most current or most correct buy cost. So we'll fill from the buy cost on your sales transaction from this row first. These run out, then we'll go to this one, then we'll go to this one. And so if you, like in this case, say there's 8, if we run through all 8 of these, but now Amazon shows that you have 5 more because you added them in Seller Central, well, you'll get an alert and we won't know what buy cost to use. So we're just going to use this very last buy cost until you add another row with the correct buy cost if it changed. So that's all that does. It just keeps your buy cost correct for your sales transactions. So yeah, great question. I guess we better do our.
I think it's about time. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Still have one more to decide on, so I'll let you edit that one. And then I'll roll the drum roll.
All right.
So, Manuel, I use a Brother QL 1100. Well, it should be, if you're on the list of prep page, just click on print settings, and it'll open up your settings page. And if you want it to include the expiration, make sure you click here to turn this on, and then we'll put the expiration date there. The other reason it might not be, if you missed an expiration date and didn't add it to the item, it won't show up there. But as long as you've entered it for the item when you listed in the batch, turn this on and it should print your expiration date. So if that's not happening, make sure you open a ticket in support, and we can get that answered for you. So are we all ready?
Let's
Hope
see.
you're still working. All right, so we'll go ahead and do the first swag bag here.
All right.
Oops, one more. Yeah, I mean, well, if it's on and you're not getting it on there, then just make sure you open up a ticket, and then they can go through that for you. Sorry, I'm trying to get my computer to work for me. Okay. All right, so I'll go ahead and I think we got it set.
All right.
Did I miss anybody? Nope. Okay. Lost track of my drum roll. All right. Swag bag winner one.
All right. Kimberly.
Kimberly. Congrats, Kimberly.
Yay. Great name, by the way. I'm not at all
biased.
prejudiced.
So Kimberly, just contact support at inventorylab.com, or you can go to your support tab right here and open up a ticket and just tell them you want a swag bag, and then we'll get that out to you. Make sure to give us your mailing address, and then just know we're getting in new swag, so maybe a bit of a delay getting those out, but we will get those out to you. So congrats. All right, I always get the wrong tab. Here we go.
All right. Winner number 2, Angela.
Angela, congrats.
Congratulations.
Right. So Angela, yeah, same thing. Email support or open up a ticket. Tell us you want a swag bag, and we'll get that out to you as soon as we get the new swag in. Just include your mailing address. So, all right, the last one is the $50 Amazon gift card.
All right, the big one, Aaron Decker.
Aaron Decker. Aaron,
Congratulations,
just
Aaron.
out. Yeah, congrats. Reach out to support and include the email where you want to receive that gift card. It'll be an e-gift card from Amazon that we'll send you. So, yeah, thanks everybody for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. And
good episode.
like I said, join us in a couple weeks for our super duper exciting Christmas edition.
Christmas edition. You never know what's going to happen.
I know, right? If you have nothing to do on the 23rd,
yeah,
just join us.
Show up and see what's going on.
I'm excited.
All right. Okay. Well, Kim, we'll see you in a couple weeks.
I'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care, everyone.
See you, everybody.
Bye.